So this is the second video on two sample t-test. We have already discussed in the previous video on the two sample t-test, paired one, and what is the difference between independent and paired kind of t-test, right? So in this video, I'll be focusing on how to carry out a two sample t-test for independent sample, right? So like we discussed before, independent sample means the respondent, or whenever you are collecting data, the respondent can be either in one group or the other. He or she cannot be in both the groups, right? So in that case, because I'm collecting single variable or single measure for each respondent. In case of pair, for each respondent, I'm collecting two measures or two kind of data sets, right? So in independent sample, there are two parts again, because there are two approaches whenever there are equal variances or unequal variances. What it means, if I have two groups and I am trying to see that whether the mean of those two groups are equal or not, or whether mean of one group is greater than or lesser than the other group, chances are that the group variances or the population variances of those two groups may be different, may be unequal, or may be equal. If it is equal, there is a separate approach, separate formulas we can apply. If both are unequal, there will be separate approach. So basically, whenever the case arises, it is an independent sample. We have to conduct a two sample t-test for independent samples. The first thing we need to check is whether variances are equal or not. How to do that? Hence, the first step is to carry out a F test using the F distribution. So we'll see how to conduct a F test. So if let's say there are two groups, male and female, and I have let's say collected a sample of 10 student and another 15 female student, 10 male student and 15 female student. So first step is calculate the sample variance of sample 1, calculate the sample variance of sample 2. Okay. Whichever variance is larger, so the F statistics is nothing but larger variance divided by smaller variance. So this is something you have to understand whenever you are conducting a F test to understand whether variances are equal or not. You will take the larger variance in the top and smaller variance in the denominator or the bottom. Okay, so hence the first step is to find out the variance of both the groups. Okay. So what is our null hypothesis here, and what is our alternate hypothesis? Null hypothesis, like I said, null hypothesis is always about status quo. So null hypothesis is each variances of those two groups are equal. Okay, and alternate hypothesis, each variances of both the groups are unequal. If we are able to reject the null hypothesis, then the approach will take of unequal variances. The formulas will apply, that will be for unequal variances. If we are not able to reject the null hypothesis, that means variances are equal. So in that case, we will take the formulas, or we will use the formulas of equal variances for independent samples. So again, the first step is find out the group variances, find out the sample variances, take the larger variances in numerator, smaller variance in denominator, find out the F statistics, find out the ratio, that ratio is F statistics. So once you find out the F statistics, second step is find out critical value. So for the finding critical value, you have to use the F distribution. Obviously, I'll show you an example how to do that. These are basically the 5 steps we have to follow for hypothesis testing, any kind of hypothesis testing. First step, calculate test statistics. Second step, find out critical value. Third step, compare test statistic to the critical value. Then if your kind of a test statistics is greater than critical value, reject null hypothesis. If it is less than critical value, you will not able to reject null hypothesis. So second step, basically find out your critical value. Level of significance, we can assume alpha is 5% or 0.05. Decrease of freedom in this case will be n1 minus 1, n2 minus 1. What is n1? n1 is the group which have the larger variance, n2 is the group which has the smaller variance. If F statistics is less than critical value, that means we are not able to reject the null hypothesis. That means we assume that variances are equal. In that case, next step is find out the test statistics for two sample independent samples, assuming variances are equal. So the formulas I'll discuss in detail when we get into that step. So I don't want to bother you about the formulas right now. This looks little difficult, but actually the process is very simple. If you remember how to do it one sample t-test, it is exactly same. I'll go in detail how to do that. So what it means, basically, what I want to take you from this slide is basically if your F statistics, F test fails to reject the null hypothesis. That means variances are equal. The set of formulas which will apply is in the left side of the screen. If you are able to reject the null hypothesis, that means you are able to prove that the variances are unequal. Okay. So in that case, the formulas for test statistics and critical value will be slightly different, which is in the right side of the screen. So it will be better if you go through a kind of example and see through it. Let's say I want to compare like right now for the last 1.5 months or 2 months, we are taking classes, online classes for our School of Management student in KIT. So I want to understand whether the students' performance in lecture-based class is better or online classes is better. Okay. So again, we discuss whether it is a one-tail or two-tail test. That is later on. But let's say right now the my objective is I have taken like online classes and I have also previously taken lecture based classes whether there is a difference in student performance. See, the objective is not whether lecture based student are scoring 5 marks better. Okay. Only point is that whether there is a difference, whether there is a difference in scores, difference in student performance. Okay, that is my research objective. So I want to find out the difference. So I'll formulate hypothesis. So what is my alternate hypothesis? Obviously, its student performance are different. So I'm not bothered whether lecture based is better or online class is better. What I want to prove is both are different, both are unequal. What is my null hypothesis? Obviously, null hypothesis is status quo. That means both are equal. Both the students, both the group of student performance is same. Here, one thing you have to remember, it is different sets of student. Few student, the 7 student who have taken lecture based classes, they are different from the student who have taken online classes. If I had taken the same group of students, let's say I have taken the same 7 student and they have gone through lecture based classes, later on they have gone through online classes and I want to compare the performance, then in that case it would have been a paired sample test, two sample test using paired sample. But in this case, see, the question is specifically asking two different groups of students. So that means there is no commonality. One respondent cannot be in both the groups, right? So in this case, we are using two sample independent tests because samples are independent of each other. Okay. So lecture and online groups, there are two different groups. Obviously, this is two sample independent. Like I said, a respondent can either be in lecture based. There are two different groups, right? So in that case, it is a two sample independent test. Okay. So what is our first step? Like we discussed 2 slides before. First test, I want to understand whether variances are equal. Why we are doing that? Because the approach, the formulas for equal variances, independent sample test is different. The approach or the formulas for unequal variances, independent sample t-test is different. So first step is I have two groups, two scores, student who have gone through lecture based and separate group of student who have gone through online classes. I'll calculate the variances. So I calculated the variances. I took the square of difference from the average that came as 117.71. Here also 116.71. Okay. So calculated the variance of group 1 that came as 19.62. Group 2 26.95. Okay. So here is the point. So and the means also I have calculated. Mean is 16.57 for lecture based and 15.57 for the online classes. Whichever group, whichever, like I said, in the numerator you have to take the larger variance, right? So whenever I am calculating F statistics, I'll take the larger variance 26.95 divided by 19.62. That gave me a test statistics of 1.37. Okay, so I calculate the test statistics for F distribution. Then I'll find out the critical value. So for finding critical value, I need two parameters. One is degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom in this particular case or whenever we are carrying out a test is there will be 2 degrees of freedom, n1 minus 1, n2 minus 1. What is n1? n1 is the group which have a larger variance, numerator. N2 is the group which have a smaller variance, that is denominator. So in this particular case, what has happened, I have taken the same group, like kind of not same group, I have taken the same sample size. That means 7 student in this group, 7 student in online classes also. Both groups are different, but the sample size of both the groups are same. That means 7 here in the first group, 7 here in the second group, online classes. It can be different. It is not mandatory or it is not necessary that both the sample size has to be same. In this case, particular case, I have taken same, but you can take always different also. So that's why the sample, like the kind of degrees of freedom will be 6. N1 minus 1 is 6, N2 minus 1 is 6. So I'll go and find out the value at the cross section of 6 degrees of freedom in the numerator, 6 degrees of freedom in the denominator. That gave me a value of 4.28. Okay, because my F statistics came out as 1.37, which is less than 4.28, I cannot reject the null hypothesis. That means I'll accept null hypothesis, variances are equal. Once I know that variances are equal, so I have set of formulas I have to use. Okay, so let's go step by step. In this case, once I know that variances are equal, my test statistics will be what is my observed difference x1 bar minus x2 bar minus expected difference mu1 minus mu2 divided by standard error of the both the groups. Standard error, it is not a single group, right? Because I am considering two groups, lecture based and online classes. S x1 bar minus x2 bar. This is clear. X1 bar x2 bar I have found out as 16.57 and 15.57. Mu1 and mu2. In this example, mu1 minus mu2 is 0. Why? Just think about a second for that, or a few seconds on that. Because in this particular case, what I have done, I have taken my null hypothesis as both the means are equal, right? And alternate hypothesis are both the means are not equal, right? So in this particular case, in the example which I am solving, I have just doing a two-tail test where I have taken null hypothesis as true. Null hypothesis is both the means are equal. That's why mu1 equal to mu2. That means mu1 minus mu2 equal to 0. But in some cases, just let's say I want to understand whether by taking lecture based classes student perform more by 5 marks, then in that case mu1 minus mu2 would have been 5 marks and it would have been a one tail test. Okay, let's jump into the what is the standard error. Standard error is a square is nothing but the pooled variance multiplied by 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. N1 is group 1 variance, n2 is group 2, n1 is sample size of group 1, n2 is sample size of group 2. What is this a square? A square is pooled variance. What it means? If I have two sets of two groups and I have given the variance, how will I find the weighted variance? So as you know that how to calculate weighted average, same thing, only because it is for sample, I have to take n1 minus 1. n1 minus 1 sample variance, n2 minus 1 sample 2 variance divided by n1 minus 1 plus n2 minus 1, that will give me n1 plus n2 minus 2. Okay, so this is nothing but, just remember, this is nothing but a pooled variance. So that is meant weighted variance of these two groups. If I have sample variance of this group, sample variance of this group, how will I calculate the weighted variance? So first up, I calculated the pooled variance. I put n1 minus 1 6 multiplied by 26.95. Again n2 is 7, 7 minus 1 6 multiplied by 19.62 divided by 7 plus 7 minus 2. That gave me a value of 23.28. That I put in this standard error formula. That gave me a standard error of 2.58. That I put it my test statistics 15.57, that is for my online classes. That is my group 1 minus 16.57, that is my group 2 minus 0, again 0, mu1 minus mu2, I am assuming null hypothesis true, divided by 2.58, that is my standard error. That gave me a value of 0.3876. Next step, I'll go and find out what is my critical value in t distribution. Again, I'm checking a value at alpha by 2. Why? Because it is a two-tail test. In two-tail test, you have to check the value at alpha by 2. Alpha is 5%, so I'm checking at alpha by 2, 0.025. What is my degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom is n1 plus n2 minus 2. n1 is 7, n2 is 7, 7 plus 7, 14 minus 2 is 12. When I check the value at 12 and 0.025, the value, critical value is 2.179. Because my test statistics is less than critical value, I cannot reject the null hypothesis. That means it seems that though the mean variances are 16.57 and 15.57 in my, like, which I calculated earlier, but it seems that with this data I cannot, with 95% confidence, I cannot tell that the group means will be different in the population, right? So I have to assume that group means will be same. Just quickly, in Excel, if you want to do it, first carry out, go to data analysis, carry out, find out the variances of both the groups, carry out the F-test to sample for variances, take the larger variances in variable 1, take the smaller variances in variable 2, find out F-test. This is the same answer which you got earlier. Once you reject or accept null hypothesis. Accordingly, you choose your t-test. Okay.